Welcome back. We are locally Louisiana, and we are starting the new year off strong. And with the new year comes resolutions, and man, can they be hard to stick to.
Oh, they sure can. But luckily, we have an expert with us who's going to give us the ins and outs of making and sticking to your New Year's resolutions. She's an executive coach for real people. Welcome to the show, Julie Couret.
Hey, y'all. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for coming. We are so grateful to get this help that you're going to give us.
Right.
But before we get into that, I want to know, I love your title, Executive Coach for Real People. But tell us, what exactly does that mean?
Well, the folks that I work with are generally business owners and executives who want to have very real dialogue on fixing the internal issues that are keeping their business from scaling. And that I'm not interested in being a yes person or telling a executive what they want to hear. Rather, let's have a real conversation so we can deploy the great skills we do have internally so the business can continue to thrive.
I like that, not being a yes person.
know,
Sometimes
right?
people need that hard push, the real feedback. So what is the most common mistake people make when making resolutions?
Well, if you had to think about it, I bet we're on the same page, and it's that they're too ambitious, not realistic, and not really attainable or specific.
Okay.
So then what sort of tips would you give people when they're finishing up December, they're getting ready to start off fresh? What are some good tips for choosing the right resolutions?
Well, number one, I fully endorse making resolutions. I fully endorse using the calendar year as a annual reset. It feels very organic to people. So do embrace it if it appeals to you. And you want to take it in bite size. And if you're going to have a resolution, you do want to make it very specific and broken out by quarter. That sounds very corporate sounding, but people tend to do well working in 90-day increments, quarterly increments. And that if you're going to start to set goals, and we can dive into that, make it where it breaks out so you've got some really cool milestones that you can see throughout the year.
That is a great tip. Take it in little chunks. I like that.
I like that too. Maybe I can stick to it a little bit better if I if I break it up into quarters. But look, sometimes we beat ourselves up because we don't stick to our New Year resolution. Is there anything that you could give us, any kind of tips or anything to help us not feel so bad when we don't make those marks?
Well, Patrick and Karen, setting goals that we can't achieve does not feel good. No one wants to be making resolutions that are unattainable. The way that you can keep them is being really honest with yourself about what's my motivation. Do I really want this? Okay, and if I do, how do I make it bite-sized? And I'm telling you, those milestones throughout the year really are how you're going to get there. And if you get to your first milestone, and you haven't achieved it, say, what can I modify so I can still see progress? Because if you only are looking for perfection and 100%, then you might be setting yourself up not to feel great. So do stick with it, and it's okay to modify and evolve throughout the year.
Well, Julie, thank you so much. We got your contact information up on the screen so people can reach out to you. Those were some really fantastic tips, and we appreciate you taking your time to come share them with us.
Yep, thank you so much.
Awesome, y'all.